Have you ever thought that for less than $200, you could own a reliable, high-quality firearm that's especially suited for seniors? Sounds unbelievable, right? From classic cowboy revolvers to semi-auto pistols and powerful shotguns, today we're counting down the top 5 guns under $200 for seniors. And trust me, number 1 will definitely surprise you. Are you ready? Let's dive right in. Number 5, Heritage Rough Rider 2.2 LR. Kicking off our list at number 5, we've got the Heritage Rough Rider, chambered in 2.2 LR. And let me tell you, this little cowboy revolver is all about nostalgia and affordability. At just $159, it's one of the cheapest firearms you can get your hands on, but don't let the low price fool you. This thing is surprisingly well built for what it is. Now, if you grew up watching westerns, the Rough Rider is gonna feel like second nature. It's got that classic single-action design, meaning you have to manually cock the hammer before each shot. Some might see that as a downside, but for a lot of older shooters, it actually builds confidence because you're in full control of each shot. And with a 4.75-inch barrel, the balance is just right, not too front-heavy, not too light. Here's what stood out to me. First, the weight. At 33 ounces, it's hefty enough to reduce muzzle flip but not so heavy that it tires out your hands. Second, the grip. It's wide and comfortable, which is a huge plus for seniors dealing with arthritis or reduced hand strength. Third, the value. You're getting a solid steel frame and cylinder, and if you ever want more power, you can swap in the .22 Magnum cylinder that comes with it. Not bad for under $160. But let's be real, it's not perfect. Being a single-action revolver means it's slower to fire compared to double-action or semi-autos. The loading gate is a bit stiff, which might be tough for some older shooters. And let's be honest, 2.2 LR isn't exactly a powerhouse when it comes to stopping power. This is more of a fun range gun or a last resort self-defense option, rather than a go-to defensive firearm. So, what's the verdict? If you're looking for an affordable, low-recoil revolver that's easy to handle, the Heritage Rough Rider is a fantastic choice. But if you need something faster and more powerful for self-defense, you might want to keep watching. Now, let's move on to number 4. Number 4, Hi-Point C9 9mm. Alright, coming in at number 4, we've got the Hi-Point C9, probably one of the most controversial pistols in the gun community. At just $189, it's about as budget-friendly as a 9mm handgun gets. Now, I know what you're thinking, Hi-Point. Really? But hear me out. For seniors or anyone on a tight budget, this pistol actually makes a lot of sense. First off, the weight. Yeah, it's heavy and blocky, but that's actually a good thing for recoil control. At 29 ounces unloaded, this thing soaks up recoil better than a lot of those fancy polymer guns that cost 3 times as much. If you've got weaker hands or arthritis, that extra weight helps keep the gun steady and reduces muzzle flip. Next, the simplicity. There's no complicated decocker, no fancy safeties, just a manual safety, a mag release, and a trigger. That's it. If you want something easy to operate under stress, the C9 delivers. The 3-dot sights are big and easy to see, which is a huge plus for aging eyes. And with an 81 capacity, you've got enough rounds for self-defense without making the magazine too heavy to load. Now, let's talk downsides. The trigger? Yeah, it's heavy, around 8 pounds. That's not ideal, especially if you have weaker fingers. And the size? Let's be honest, it's bulky, and that makes it a terrible choice for concealed carry. Plus, the slide is a bit stiff, so if you struggle with grip strength, that could be an issue. And let's not forget, this thing isn't winning any beauty contests. But here's the kicker: Hi-Point backs this gun with an unconditional lifetime warranty. You break it, they fix it, no questions asked. That's unheard of at this price point. So, if you need an ultra-affordable, no-frills 9mm for home defense or range shooting, the C9 is worth considering. Just know what you're getting: a heavy, ugly, but surprisingly effective budget pistol. Now, let's move on to number 3. Number 3, Taurus G2C 9mm. Alright, moving on to number 3. We've got the Taurus G2C, a compact 9mm that somehow sneaks in just under our $200 budget. Usually around $199 if you catch it on sale. Now, for a budget-friendly carry gun, this thing packs some serious value. Let's start with what makes it a great choice for seniors. First, the weight. It's just 22 ounces, making it light enough to carry all day, but still heavy enough to manage recoil better than some of those ultra-light micro pistols. But the real standout feature? The slide is surprisingly easy to rack. If you've ever struggled to pull back the slide on a stiff semi-auto, you'll appreciate how smooth this one feels. That alone makes it a top pick for older shooters. Capacity is another win here. You're getting 121 rounds of 9mm in a compact frame, which is pretty impressive at this price point. And while the 3-dot sights are decent, they're not the best in low light, so if your eyesight isn't great, you might want to upgrade to something more visible. Now, no gun is perfect, and the G2C does have some quirks. The trigger? It's got a long reset, which takes some getting used to. The magazine release is a bit stiff, so if you've got weaker hands, that might be annoying. And while the gun has modern safety features, including a trigger safety, it still has a bit more recoil than heavier options, something to consider if you have wrist issues. Overall, for $199, the Taurus G2C punches way above its weight. It's compact, holds 121 rounds, and is one of the easiest budget 9mm to rack, making it a solid option for seniors looking for a reliable, affordable carry gun. If you're on a tight budget but still want something modern, this is a tough one to beat. Alright, let's move on to number 2. Number 2, Maverick 88 12-gauge shotgun. Coming in at number 2, we have the Maverick 88, a 12-gauge pump-action shotgun that delivers serious home defense power at a budget-friendly price. At just $189, this is hands down one of the best values in the shotgun world, especially for seniors looking for an affordable, no-nonsense option. Now, let's talk about why the Maverick 88 works so well for older shooters. First off, shotguns are incredibly forgiving when it comes to aiming. Unlike a handgun where precise shot placement is critical, a 12-gauge loaded with buckshot gives you a spread pattern that makes it easier to hit your target even if your hands aren't as steady as they used to be. And trust me, just the sound of racking a shotgun is enough to make most intruders think twice. The 18.5-inch barrel model weighs around 7 pounds, which might seem heavy, but that extra weight actually helps reduce felt recoil, something that lighter shotguns don't handle as well. The pump action is simple and ultra reliable. No worrying about grip strength to cycle a slide. No complex safeties, just load, rack, and fire. It's as straightforward as it gets. But, of course, there are some downsides. Recoil can still be substantial, especially with full power loads, so if you've got shoulder issues, you might want to stick with reduced recoil shells. The safety placement is also a bit awkward for defensive use. It's on the trigger guard instead of on top like a Mossberg 500. And with a 51 capacity, you're not getting the highest round count, but for home defense, that's usually more than enough. At the end of the day, for under $200, the Maverick 88 is an absolute steal. It's simple, reliable, and delivers serious stopping power. If you're looking for an easy-to-use, budget-friendly shotgun for home defense, this one should be at the top of your list. Alright, let's move on to number 1. Number 1, Ruger Wrangler 22LR Revolver. Alright, next up, we have the Ruger Wrangler, a single-action 22LR revolver that delivers classic cowboy-style shooting at an incredibly affordable price. Coming in at around $200, this is one of the best budget-friendly revolvers on the market. But is it worth your money? Let's break it down. First off, let's talk about why this little six-shooter is so popular. The Wrangler is built like a tank, with an aluminum alloy frame that keeps it lightweight but still durable. It's modeled after the legendary Colt single-action Army, meaning you get that old school, cowboy-style operation: cock the hammer, pull the trigger, and fire. Simple, reliable, and just plain fun to shoot. Now, the 22LR chambering makes this an excellent choice for beginners, casual plinkers, or anyone looking for a low-recoil, low-cost firearm. 22LR is dirt cheap, so you can shoot all day without breaking the bank. And because it's such a soft shooting round, this revolver is perfect for seniors, new shooters, or anyone who just wants a hassle-free range gun. But of course, no gun is perfect. Being a single-action revolver means you have to manually cock the hammer for every shot. That's not a big deal if you enjoy the traditional shooting style, but it does slow things down. And unlike some other .22 revolvers, the Wrangler doesn't have a swing-out cylinder you have to eject each spent casing one by one through the loading gate. If speed and convenience are a priority, this might not be your best bet. That said, for the price, the Ruger Wrangler is hard to beat. It's a great little gun for target practice, training, and just plain fun at the range. If you're looking for a reliable, affordable .22 revolver with a classic feel, this one definitely deserves a spot in your collection. And there you have it, the top 5 budget-friendly guns for seniors in 2025. Now, when choosing a firearm, always consider what works best for your needs and comfort. If you prefer low recoil and ease of use, a 22LR revolver might be perfect. If you need more stopping power for home defense, a shotgun or a 9mm pistol could be a better fit. Whatever you choose, practice regularly and make sure you're comfortable handling it. Which one was your favorite? Do you already own any of these? Or is there another budget gun you think should have made the list? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more honest firearm reviews and recommendations. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss our latest uploads. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay safe and keep shooting.